One. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Time Talk with Eagle 3D Streaming. I'm Quentin Anderson, the host of the show, and today we have Serge Morin. Serge is the CEO and Chief Creative Director of Digital Lantern, or Lanterne Digitale, and I'm sure you'll have to say the French pronunciation better than myself.
Lanterne digitale.
Woo, there we
There you
go.
go.
To introduce Serge, for the past 20 years, he and his team have been designing and producing 3D images and animations for innovators in the industrial and scientific fields. Using video game technologies, they offer international clients the means to showcase their innovations and stand out from the competition. For the past 3 years, they've also been offering their customers a new real time 3D presentation solution via their lantern3dspace.com platform. Serge, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you. Nice to meet you, Quentin, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you.
You as well. Thank you for stopping by, and let's get right into it. And it would be great just to learn a little bit more about your background, your story, and how you got to where you are today.
Sure. Well, it began. Digital Lantern began with me with a small idea. I was an architect in an architectural firm, and I was doing, design and so on. And I was very hardcore on 3D. I like to, 3D modeled
Hmm.
and all this stuff. But bear in mind, this is a little bit soon. It was in the 90s, at the end of the 90s, almost. And so I was one of the first guys who were eliminating the drawing boards and just going straight to the computer, which was a sacrilege in those times for
Yeah.
the architects. But now it's the common thing to do, of course. Then again, I was working in that, and I really loved the 3D stuff. So at some point, I had the idea to start a company that would, provide 3D illustrations for real estate guys and help sell the projects, because I could see a lot of problems in communicating how a project would impact a site and a place. And so that's a little
Mm.
bit how it began. And soon we always had to focus on the quality on the image quality,
Mhm.
and soon we were doing 3D for communications for different companies in the industrial field, in furniture, and the audience developed from there.
Mm.
And I'd say that about like 10 years before, that's where we hit our stride with science and technology. That's when there are a
Mm.
couple of companies around here who do, like Creaform, who do 3D scanners, LeatherTech, Upsense, other company that are pretty not well known here,
Mm.
and they kind of gave us the opportunity to work with international clients, always in the industrial and scientific field, and the idea of using 3D for showcasing technology
Mhm.
is kind of the best, and it's just natural to do that. So from then the company got bigger. From there, mind you, it's not a big company. It's what we call a micro company. We're
Mm.
about 10 people here. It's not that big. But then that's how it grew, and we built our experience from that. And again, like I we said earlier, you in life as in business, you learn or you win.
Amen to
So
that.
we learned a lot, and so there you have it now with the latest events in our lives. At some point, we had some clients in the industrial field who, at some point, wanted to showcase their technology, and they were not able to do that.
Mm.
And we had all those 3D models on our computers. And when COVID came, they couldn't showcase anything
Hmm.
because they weren't able to travel. They weren't able to do the usual sales that they wanted to do. So the idea to create a platform, which is the Lantern 3D Space,
Mhm.
uh, got the idea got it was created from that
Mm.
situation. And at some point, we didn't want to create a solution just for that that particular event, we wanted to, we want to create something that will, we knew that it would, like any bad situation, at some point it ends and you get to a good situation. Then the good situations will end, you get to a bad situation, you get to, go from there. So, and at some point you want something that's going to be, that you're going to be able to pursue even if the situation changed.
Hmm.
And again, like we talked a little bit earlier, and I'm not stopping talking right now. So if you want to ask me questions, you stop me. Uh, then again, we had the idea of creating a virtual space in which our client could put their 3D model, look at it, and whether at a distance or on one-on-one or during meetings, look and turn around the 3D model. At the same time, in 2020, Unreal 5 got out,
Mm-hmm.
and all the boundaries were kind of pushed.
Mm-hmm.
And our our main focus was always the quality of image,
Mm-hmm.
and Unreal allows for that, and allows for very heavy 3D models
Mm-hmm.
to be used. And it was like a no-brainer. The only thing that was missing was, okay, so our clients are going to necessarily, they're going to need big computers or
Mm-hmm.
soft a big hardware. And we knew Novabus. They called us and they say, usually we use your presentations to showcase what our autobus can, what our buses can do, and showcase them in a nice way. But you have all the 3D models, and now we can't, we couldn't cross the frontier. Now everything is closed down, and we have to pursue our activities, our sales activities. Do you think there's a way that we could use gaming, the gaming things that you use, in order to push that? So we had about like 2 weeks to learn Unreal, and so we did. Well, my team did. I didn't. I didn't get the time to do that. It was such a crazy time. But then again, our team here, they created a first draft of what it could look like, and we put the 3D model there, and we tested everything we could test pretty much quickly. And then boom, after 2 weeks, we were presenting to our clients, and then usually it takes about a couple of months before you hear from someone. It took about like 6 hours to get another meeting, but then with the head office and all the other fiduciaries of this company, which was the head office was Volvo, and well, it was a big thing. And after 3 days, we had a first sales for using the what would become the Lantern 3D space.
Yeah, and that's awesome that the turnaround time and being able to pick up a software that fast.
Let's say that in 1998 it couldn't have been done. It's for
Yeah.
sure. It's something that's, the development it goes really quick.
Hmm.
You can learn it really quickly, and the results are there pretty much rather quickly. And again, the our first goal is always to ensure a good image quality
Right.
with what we do, what we want our client to have, so that, because at the end you're trying to sell stuff. Our main goal is to help our client promote their ideas, but make their sales go up. So at some
Exactly.
point you do that by being, you put on your tuxedo and you look good, and you're going to do your sales
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah. Exactly. And then so 2020 happens and it's COVID, and then is that at the point where your team kind of realized that, or up until that point, how were you giving client demos and showcases? Were you taking a laptop into an office and giving the preview, or how were you giving the
Usually,
demonstrations?
usually the stuff we provide them, the visuals are produced. They're going to be put on a website, or they're going to use in trade shows. And as we said, it's always you repeat, you rinse and repeat, and you go back to the start, and recreate every time.
Right.
It's always custom. But when you see products being sold, I was looking for a way to make of our, let's say, our service. Is there a way to take our service and make it as a product? And that's the tool we found that arrived just like on our lap, and said, hey, this way you can take your services, pre-program a lot of stuff that we can do and create. And that way you have an interface. You just have to put in something and you can look at it with pre-programmed environments, pre-programmed features,
Hmm.
and create stuff and have a you have a uh, uh, you have a box in which you can put content in, and you can look
Right.
at it with a lot of uh, with image quality, which people in in engineering and in design, they're not used to look at stuff that look good on screen. They see the shapes, they see that but they have to do renderings, and it's time consuming. You got to have a big computer. Now that way that we were proposing our client, it wasn't different from what we were doing in terms of visuals, but
Hmm.
the way that it works is different, and it's a new thing. So it's totally different. Some people will do like configurators on the web. It's very limited. Yes, of course you can configure something, but the configurator that we can get with what we do, you're gonna move around it. You're moving around the product as if you were there. So it has a lot of advantage, not only in the sales, but after that in training. Again, our clients over at Novabus, they when their training team saw what we could, they got very interested by what the possibilities, because the look and feel of the 3D
Hmm.
looks somewhat realistic, a lot more than what you're going to see. So people, when they look at technical drawings, they're not they're not necessarily going to be able uh, to understand everything. That way, though, they see, oh, this is where that motor is. This is where that component is
Hmm.
located. This is how you access it, and you can recreate everything as if you were in a real environment. So it's serious gaming at the end. But it's just that instead of shooting people, you're just you're just moving around and discovering an object. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah. I try to tell my parents all the time that these are video games, and they're like, "These aren't video games. They can't possibly be." Um, but so it's. I'd be curious to learn a little bit more about the
Yep.
platform. Then,
Yeah.
do you maybe have any screen shares or any examples that you could share with
Let
us, or so that we can
let me
dive in?
share my screen. So let's go here. So
All right.
here you should see an helicopter here, right?
Yes, yes, we can
Just
see it.
gonna move this around a little bit. Okay, so there you go. You're in the platform here. So you have a bunch of different functionalities depending on what you want to look at, and you
Hmm.
have the different things that you can put in. So on this particular object, the helicopter, you can change the wraps, and you can look at different point of views, and we could create snapshots with the cameras and create snapshots for our client that our client can look at. We can highlight components, or put tags on, and when you have those tags on, you can have a different specification. Of course, this is just a demo,
Hmm.
but you could have videos in. You can have whatever you want. We can look at, let's say, I'm going to look at a different product here. You got this engine here that you can look at, and we've pre-programmed different exploded views,
Whoa.
so you can look at a different pieces of equipment. I can move around differently also, because I have different types of. I can move around like in a video game, and then I can go look at whatever I want to. I can highlight, like I said, different
Oh,
components,
cool.
and then again just close it up. And better yet, I could, for instance, in this one, I could open the slicer here, and then with the slicer now, I can slice through a
Wow.
component and look at it, turn it around, and make any type of visuals I require. So I'm gonna just
Wow.
change my viewpoint here. I'm gonna go back in orbital, and so you see I can do this, and you can even make it exploded, and there highlight whatever you want, and you can look at it. So there you go. Uh, Again, we have different environments. We have this that we can look into a hangar. I'm gonna put something else, another product.
And Serge, may I just say right here, the quality of your visuals is outstanding.
Yeah, well, you don't. you don't work in 3D for 20 years without picking up some little insight about how things should look like. So that's one of the best advantages that we have here is that we're so used to work with technical guys
Hmm.
that they can, that people can. We understand their mindset. We understand how they work and what's the design point of view.
Hmm.
Being myself an architect I understand design.
Hmm.
So when we look at something, we want it to look good. And what that piece of equipment is, and we want our client to be able to make those cells they want. So again, it has to look good. I can go in another environment here. You can look at a plane
Oh, cool.
in here and make use of all the tools that are available in Unreal, with all those plugins that you can use. And you can recreate pretty much every type of visuals you want. And again, in this one here, I can get into the driver's seat, the passenger, or again go back in the back and enjoy my time over there. But there's no limitations. Again, you can all the features I showed are you can put it on a plane there. You could do an exploded views of the engine while in flight. You can do well. That's not a good thing to do in flight, but you get what I'm saying. You can configure pretty much everything you want. I can go back in the hangar here and, for instance, look at a product like a truck, and you can configure the truck and see the different components. You can have a flatbed in there or a box, or you know look at different points. And again, it has no limitations. So we created a couple of functionalities that are automated. So all we have to do is to put in the 3D model, texture it, and there you go. We put the features that we want, and it's already available, which makes the platform relatively cost efficient, so that our client don't have to recreate and retry and try to reinvent everything. Of course, we can do that for a client. We can customize everything, but we're trying to package it so that it's a quick ROI that you get on there.
So if let's say I'm an engineer, and that would be dangerous, but let's say I'm an engineer working for, John Deere or something, and I have a new line of tractors that I'm trying um, to showcase, then I would provide your team what as a starting point?
Uh, Usually we work with step files.
Okay.
So basically, they just transfer the files where we go through the process of optimizing the file,
Hmm.
and we'll recreate it in Unreal, and depending on what the features are, we're going to set it up so that you get to the point where you can customize and configure your truck. So basically, that's how it works. So Danny can use it to create visuals himself. So it's as if he had his own studio in which he can look at it,
Amazing.
or he can look at at a specific piece of equipment and discuss it. And at some point, we'll be able to put tags in and comments and so on, so that people will be able to interact more. There are more interaction comings that are coming on the platform. And again, in training, you can showcase how it works. You can show how this thing is gonna be created, or where which piece of equipment goes, and highlight it and put on technical things. So instead of having someone having to go to the shop floor, on the shop floor they can open a screen. The specialist can open a screen on his end and look, hey, this is where this piece is going, this is what it should look like, and these are the specifications that you can get. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use it. Of course, it's the start. So you create stuff, and then when you're programming, it's always the same thing. You try to think of the ways that people are going to use the tool, but then you find out that they're not using it the way you thought they would.
Right.
So you get to adapt, and that's where we're at. Like I said, You learn or you win.
So the platform itself is all the tools that handle use cases that an engineer is probably going to want. Doing the
Yeah,
cross section or seeing the object in context or changing the color or taking a render.
yeah. Basically, when you're at the sales part of your process,
Hmm.
when you want to showcase the product, maybe in trade shows,
Hmm.
maybe to your investors, and you want to explain it how this thing works, and what are the benefits. We can simulate everything in there. We could have airflow going in, and depending on what's the requirement, so you can illustrate it pretty much easily, and then the people who are going to do the presentations, they're gonna they're gonna be able to um, to to interactively do their presentation as if they were looking at an animation, but they have total control.
Hmm.
So for the sales team, it's pretty cool. For the training team, again, another benefit is that you can look around a particular piece of equipment and show it as if it was there. So there you go.
Amazing. And how are you using Eagle with your product, or how does that come into play?
But well, of course, salespeople don't carry a tower with them when they want to showcase something. So, of course, the way to have a secure server in which you can have this thing and just
Mm.
pop open the window, log in, and with you guys and other affiliates, we created a kind of an anti-chamber in which you can get in, you enter your credentials, and then you access the 3D file, which is just a window, and
Mm.
you stream what you're looking at, and you have total control of the scene as if you were working on a big computer. We can use this on a tablet or on a phone, which I would not advise, though. It's on the phone. It's not. It's. I'm just not as good as my kids are with a phone, so I would. But with a computer, a mouse, and so our clients don't have to. They don't have to buy a big computer. They just no. They just have to get on the web and boom, they look at it.
So the use case is they'll hit a URL, they'll see your platform, they'll see their object in your platform. So if it's a jet engine or a
They
truck.
go through a portal, they enter the credentials, and then they log in, and they have the whole space to them that they can work on, and they're moving around the way they want, depending on the features that they want, of
Beautiful.
course.
And then if I send you a second model, you can say, "Hey, here you go. We've updated it. Check
Yep,
log in, check the
exactly.
portal, and the new model will be there."
Exactly, and at some point we're working on that presently, but at some point our clients will be able to do the upload themselves. So
Ooh.
there you go.
They're gonna I know they're gonna love that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, it's a kind of a SaaS. People do software as a service. Well,
Hmm.
for us, it's our service as a software. It's you have the whole studio that you can create. And people could create tutorials with that. They can record as we're doing. We can record a session and showcase a particular piece of equipment, how it works, or what are its particular particularities. Or you can, create image snapshots. You can download the 4Ks after that, and you have something in which you'll
Mm.
be able to put in your document if you want to create a documentation for tutorials and so on and so forth,
Hmm.
or sales, of course. Yeah,
Yeah, that's another nice thing is you can just take a render and it's very beautiful imagery. Download it as 4K and off you go. You can have as many
there you
renders
go.
as you want. You don't have to wait
Yeah,
for the render
yeah,
time.
yeah. Instead of having to work with a studio like ours, in
Right.
which will be at the first we'll determine how many image you need, what are the lengths of the thing that you want to do.
Right.
So of course we're very good at it. So you're gonna have a A1 service here. But again, it's to make it available to people, and kind of I don't know if it's a word in English, but democratizing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Democratizing. Yep.
yeah, the 3D
Hmm.
science softwares. That's what we see.
So if anyone would like a demo of the Lantern platform, what's the
Yeah.
best way to do so?
You just have to reach us. You go on a website and there's a little bit form that you go there and you'll
Okay.
see you click on the quote and you'll have quotations and again or you can just give me a shout out on email. So it's smorin at digital lantern or lanternedigital.com.
So
So, but the easiest ways to get to our website, lanternedigital.com, and there you go. You'll find us. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to help you guys.
perfect. And we'll include your website link in the description of the YouTube as well, so people can easily
Cool.
get it.
Thank you.
We're already running up on the half hour.
Hey, that
Any
flew.
last? I know it goes by really fast. Any
Yeah.
last thoughts, comments? Anything else we should know?
Oh, well, there's a lot of little changes that are coming to Digital Lantern. The name is about to change. It's not going to be a big thing, but it's going to be Lantern 3D, all in English. So it's going to be a little bit easier for people, Americans, to find us.
Yeah, yeah.
And so,
You know your
uh,
audience well.
we try, but we try to be there for you guys if you need anything, and we're open to do collaborations also. So we're looking for develop and make sure that people get to develop their ideas, their innovations. We're there for them. So
Excellent.
that's our main goal.
And we did get two questions come in. Do you
Yeah.
mind answering them real quick?
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, what tools are used to create the vehicle models?
Uh, Mainly, we use our basic, what we usually use, which is 3D Studio Max. Sometimes it can come from a client who use CATIA or what's the other one? SolidWorks, for instance. So they transfer us, and we optimize a 3D model. We work on the surface. We do the mapping and so on and so forth, and we prepare it for Unreal. And then in Unreal, we're gonna finish the job there in terms of texturing, and so on and so forth. If they're animation, also introduce UMax.
Very nice. And then one more question. Can you upload the individual models and animations, or does it have to, or do you have to package the project again?
We'll at this point we have to package it, but we're working on a way to just have to do an update and that's it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different moving pieces that we're working on right now, and we're trying to. And something works, you link it, then it works, and then you try to link something else, and then you have a spaghetti of things that are happening, and then you have to, oh, this thing influenced this part, and so we're moving a little bit slowly, but surely. Again,
Wonderful.
you learn or you win.
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like 90% of my life is learning.
Yeah, we all do, brother.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here. It's the same for everyone.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Serge, for taking so much time out of your day. Oh, we have one more question.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever considered anything other than Unreal Engine?
At first, yes, we looked at Unity, but I'll say this: the demo of Unreal 5. Wow, this when it came out, it was a game changer for us. So yes, Unity is, and I'm not ditching Unity or anything. It's just that the way that thing happened, and the way that we developed, those are the choices we made, and we're pretty much betting on that. Also, I know that Unity has a lot of potential also, but at some point you have to choose.
Hmm.
So we made those choices with different things in mind, and so far it's been great with Unity.
Awesome. All right. Well,
With Unreal.
with
Sorry,
Unreal.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to make a mistake at some point.
Let's see if any other questions are coming in. Not looking like it. So, Serge, thank you again so much for taking time out of your busy day to join us.
My pleasure.
I'm Quentin Anderson. This is Real Time Talk with Eagle 3D Streaming. Thank you all for joining and your wonderful questions. We'll see you on the next show. And thanks again, Serge.
You're welcome.